refuse to be ignored. People keep bitching about me saying that. I keep saying it because people are not listening when I'm talking to them. They're sitting there going off on their own little tangents in their own little dream worlds and not hearing what I'm saying, which is why I keep telling you, I speak in simple, plain English. If you can't understand simple, plain English, then why the fuck are you in the job that you're doing at the moment? Because obviously you're not doing it. You don't understand English. So why the fuck are you doing a job that you don't understand English, where you're supposed to be doing a series of policies and following things? This is for the housing advisors. This is for WINS. They're supposed to follow policy. That's what makes a government. The policies is what created to become a government. What do we do about it? We sit here going, and let them get away with doing everything they're doing. They're supposed to look after us and take care of us under policy and law. That doesn't change the fact that I've got a written letter from the Prime Minister that clearly states that they're supposed to look after me and take care of me, because they refused to pay my compensation because they said, MSD and MOH exist. They will look after me and take care of me. They will cover my equipment. They will cover the bills and all the things for the health conditions that they gave me. And as you have seen from my previous videos, they aren't doing jack shit. They aren't even following their own policies, let alone the agreement made. And people are bitching at me because I'm going off my nana because I'm not getting looked after and taken care of. I've got medical needs that need to be taken care of. And what do? Oh, no, you're mental. I am not mental. I have physical health conditions given to me by the Crown. I keep telling people, nobody's listening to me. And then wonders why I keep going, I refuse to be ignored. Over and over, I keep telling people. And over again, they're not listening. And then wonder why I start getting angry and yelling at them. I get called obnoxious by dumb cunts who don't even bother talking to me and asking me what's going on. A couple of people who I do know who said, you've been obnoxious at the moment. I said, yeah, well, I want to explain what's going on with WINS. And the fact that they've cost me virtually 90% of everything I own. That took me years to collect. That was family items and my items and birthday gifts and presents and stuff from friends who have passed away. Oh, no, none of that matters, because MSD decided they're not going to pay anything. Well, I keep fighting with them to fucking pay it. And why am I fighting with them to pay it? Because I'm stuck with MSD and MOH. Because if the Crown had paid me my compensation, I would never have had any of these problems. If they had done what they're supposed to do, again, I would never have had any problems. I've had the police harassing me again because I've got no reason, no warrant. Why? Because I can't get the car compliance. Why? Because MSD won't fucking help me. Why? Because I got no fucking money. And why have I got no money? Because again, they turned around and said that MSD and MIH are supposed to look after me and take care of me, which is why I was not entitled to my compensation. I've been through lawyers. I've told them what's going on. I've showed them what's going on. Over 4,500. And what do? Oh, it's too complicated for me to deal with. I deal in family law, I deal in criminal law. I'm under retainer to the Crown. I only deal with ACC. And all this is before ACC's existence, which is why I'm stuck the way I'm stuck. Even now, with breaking my ankle and then having the problems with the leg and foot that I've been having, ACC won't look after me. Why? Because I have a pre-existing health condition. And because I've got the pre-existing health condition, the Crown gave it to me, and again, still not looking after me, still not doing their jobs. And then they wonder why I'm yelling at them again, because they're not doing their jobs. They're not assisting me, they're not helping me. Had words with the doctor's office, yet again, because of the problems with my legs and feet. And he says he's been everywhere he's supposed to, and there's nothing he can do to help me. Well, if he'd been where he was supposed to, I would have had my wheelchair issued long before now. Because the Ministry of Health is supposed to issue me a new one when I need one. And again, they've done nothing but make excuses. All everybody does is make excuses. And then I'm supposed to be nice and quiet and sit like, good little doggy, while they rip me off, fuck me over, and generally stomp all my rights and treat me like shit. And my answer is, get fucked. I am not putting up with that shit. I'm not putting up with your bullshit. I'm not putting up with your lies. And I'm going to keep yelling at you until it gets to your tiny little fucking brain that what I am saying is the truth. If you don't like that, that's hard noogies, because it's the truth. That's why I keep putting it up online. That's why I keep yelling at people, because it's the truth. And what do? Oh, you're yelling at me. Oh, I'm going to call the police, you're being loud. Instead of doing their job. And the whole point of a lot of the stuff is they're supposed to do their job. That's why they're in that position. That's what they're supposed to be doing. Not going, oh, my feelings, oh, you're shouting at me, oh. If you didn't fuck up and you didn't screw up with the job that you're doing, and you did it the way you're supposed to, nobody would be yelling at you. They would be congratulating you on what a wonderful job you did, and how wonderful you were, and how helpful you were. Instead, they don't do their job. And they get everything yelled at them, and they deserve every fucking word of it, because they have been that incompetent, that stupid, and that fucking useless. And they're getting paid to do this. And people think that I'm being obnoxious because I'm having a go at someone who's not doing their job. I'm stating facts. They don't like that. Nobody likes it when you tell them the truth. But as they say, the truth hurts. And I keep telling the truth. And I keep pointing it out. And little fuckwits keep not getting on what I'm saying. And keep trying to make things up to suit themselves. Calling me a bullshit artist when I've got everything documented online so that I don't have to put up with that kind of crap. And what do I get? Fuckwits again. And then they wonder why they've been called a fuckwit. Let's see, I've been documenting stuff online for over 15 years. Of where I've been, what I've done, who I've seen. You know, phone calls to the Ombudsman, letters to the Queen, to the World Court, to the United Nations. Anybody but listening, but looking? No. They just assume that they're right and I'm wrong. They never actually go and fucking look. They never check for themselves. That's why I had the interesting conversation with Liz when she wrote about to the council, and I said about what they do as a fob up, and they did. And she didn't believe me when I first said about it, and I said, no, don't do it. And then she goes, oh, I'm going to write to the Ombudsman. I said, go for it. Be interesting to see what they have to say, because again, they just keep fobbing me off. And they wrote her back after she was going to withdraw her complaint, and they did the same routine anyway. They fobbed her off. And I'm like, told you so. And she's like, oh, so you can as much as you like. I stated the facts. They fob you off. They don't do their jobs. Oh, you've got to do low-level complaints. Been there, done that, been there, done that, been there, done that. Why do you think I went and smashed the Prime Minister's window and stuck a smoke bomb in her office? Because as Prime Minister of New Zealand, she's supposed to uphold the laws of this country. She's supposed to also uphold the agreements that are made. And as a Prime Minister, it's her job to uphold the agreements made by a former Prime Minister. Doesn't matter whether it's a Labour or a National one. It's a letter from the head of the country that states that set things were supposed to be done. And they weren't done. They were ignored. And then you wonder why I keep going, I refuse to be ignored. And I'm sick and tired of people not listening, which is why I started doing this. Because I refuse to be ignored. I have been open, I have been honest, I have told the truth. And again, little fuckwits keep making up excuses and telling bullshit and lying. I had them going on and on and on and on about saying I'm lying. I'm not lying. If something changes between this video and the previous videos, it's because something else has changed. Why do I end up doing the documentation, the argument and it's online? Again, so you documents the changes. Documents everything. And again, not listening, not paying attention.